We are live. Graves Finder is here. Wow, straight away, boom, straight in. Good evening, how are we doing? It's 9 o'clock in the UK. We're an hour earlier tonight. Kim was in the house. Kim, great to see you. So we're an hour earlier tonight, guys, than we normally would be, because I've got to do a Skype call with America after this, and obviously they're like 8 hours behind, so I've got to jump on. God knows till when. I haven't got a clue. So we're just going to give people a few minutes to join. Awesome, great to see you, Grave Finder. Eleanor J. Brown is here as well. Let us know where you're viewing from. Carl is here. Let's just give people a few minutes to join. How's your week been? How's everybody's week been? I put out this week the Bulletproof Actor videos. Andre is here. If you've watched the videos, let me know. If you watched video 1 and 2 of the series, let me know what you think of it so far. Video 3 is going out tomorrow morning. If you're an actor, or you know what, just anybody, regardless of your job, and you want to Melissa, there you go, it's better than just saying Grave Finder, isn't it? Melissa, I'll remember that for future scopes. Definitely. Andre, good evening. Yeah, if you've seen the videos, let us know what you think so far. Video 3 is going out UK time about 10 AM in the morning, Saturday morning. I'm going to be sharing a formula, literally. And I know this sounds far-fetched, and I know it sounds like, this formula doesn't exist. It does. I'm going to give you a formula for absolutely 100% guaranteed success. It's going out in video 3 tomorrow. Video 2 made me realise how much bull I chat. Amazing. Actor, director, producer. Melissa is an actor, director, producer. I remember Melissa. Kim, I am plugged in. I'm on aeroplane mode. I've got my coffee. I just sent an email out as well tonight to people in the Acts on This community and the Bulletproof Actor community, telling them about the Periscopes, because I thought, you know what, we've had this little community for so long, but I've never really told the wider community we do these scopes, so hopefully we'll get some new faces joining us tonight as well, not just, they might not be popping up on the chat, but they might even be watching just via the web, because you can watch Periscope broadcast now via just your laptop or whatever. You don't need to actually have a smartphone or an iPad or anything anymore. It doesn't mean you can comment though, unfortunately, but you can still watch from the web. So hopefully, hello to all the web viewers. Give the web viewers some hearts, guys. And if you're watching on the replay as well, thank you so much as well, because I keep forgetting to thank everyone on the replay, but thank you for spending some time with us as well. I really appreciate you. And if anyone wants to watch any other replays of these Periscopes, you can go to actsonthis.tv and then click on Periscope and you can watch all of them. We're not moving, Andre, no, it's just tonight. I've got a Skype call at 10 PM UK time to America that they couldn't put off for me, so it just means that I've gone, right, well, I'm not missing book club. It's Friday night. It's Friday night Bulletproof Book Club. So I said, right, I'll do, we'll just do book club tonight from 9 instead of 10, but we'll be back to 10 PM on Monday, Wednesday and Friday next week, unless people do want 9 PM. If it's easier for you, then let's do 9 PM, but normally I do 10 because it's something people do before they go to bed. The things we speak about, they can think about last thing at night whilst they're in bed, they can absorb it all, hopefully wake up in the morning with a bit of a new sense of purpose and use the material that we're talking about. Although Carl loves 9 PM, so maybe we'll do 9 PM. Let me know in the Facebook group, and if you're not a member of the Facebook group, go to facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor and let me know. So, who's bought this month's book for book club yet? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Literally one of the best books I've ever read. Miranda Benjamin, welcome to the scope. I hope you're doing all right. Let us know where you're viewing from and how you found the scope. Did you just stumble across it? Or are you part of the Act on This community or the Bulletproof Actor community? Because I'm seeing some new members tonight. So yeah, and Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. The origin of this book, Kim says she's bought it, basically the author, Napoleon Hill, he met a chap called Andrew Carnegie, who was one of America's first billionaires. He was a steel magnate. He came from Scotland, did Andrew, and he went to America, made his fortune in steel, and became one of the first billionaires in America. He set Napoleon, slightly tongue-in-cheek initially, a bit of a task. Thank you for sharing, Kim. Yeah, people share this as well. That's great. Share it on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere you want to share it if you think people are into this and they want to learn more about the science of success. Andrew said to Napoleon, he went, mate, listen. He said, I'm going to introduce you to some of the greatest minds in America at that time. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing. And he said, I'm going to introduce you to some amazing people. He goes, this was 100 years ago. Well, actually quite a bit more, about 120 years ago. He said, and you can interview them, and I want you to distill all that knowledge down into literally the science of success. And Napoleon ended up interviewing 504 of the greatest minds. Act on this and Bulletproof Actor Group. Awesome, great, Miranda. Spread the word. I just realised, Miranda, until I sent that email out before, I thought I've hardly told anybody I do these Periscopes. So it's great that you're joining us. We do this 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Monday and Wednesday we do something called Motivation and Mind Hacks, and then on Friday we do a book club. So just talking about this book. So yeah, so Napoleon went out and he interviewed 504 of the greatest minds in America. People like Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, bloody genius. Henry Ford of Ford Motor Cars. Mr. Wrigley of Wrigley's Chewing Gum, the Wright brothers who invented aviation, incredible minds, okay? He interviewed all these people over 20 years and distilled all that knowledge down into 13 principles of success that you will find in this book called Think and Grow Rich, that you can buy for less than $5 on Amazon. Melissa, you'll be able to buy it for like $3 in the States. It's very cheap, but it's awesome. It's one of the best books. I read it a couple of years ago, it changed my life. Really, really does distill down success. So far, in January's book club, which this is, we've read 2 chapters of it. We read one on desire, and we read one on decision. Tonight, we're looking at a chapter called Power of the Mastermind, and I bang on about this all the time, but you really are. Napoleon Hill, Melissa, Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Seriously, it'll change your life when you read it. And I'm making it so easy because you're not even having to read it, I'm reading it to you. Literally, you just need to just stay on these scopes when we do them every Friday, and I'll read you the book. Well, I'll read you 4 chapters of it. I do four weeks on each book, and each week we look at a chapter. There's more chapters, so if you buy it, obviously you can read the rest. But we're looking at Power of the Mastermind. I'm a massive believer, and I bang on about it all the time. Kim and everyone else who's on these regularly will know that I say you really are the product of the people that you associate with. You are, Jim Rohn, one of the greatest thought leaders to ever have lived, said you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And when he means average, he doesn't just mean average in one way, he means in all ways of your life. Okay? Yeah, I know, reading it to others, Melissa. But so if you think now who you hang around with the most, okay, those 5 people who you spend the most time with, you will be the average of those 5. Your physicality, the amount of money you earn, your general emotional state, your average emotions, everything. Barbu, good evening. You will be the average of those people. So this chapter is all about effectively utilizing a mastermind group, okay, a group of people who come together in harmony to achieve a similar goal or the same goal. And that's effectively what we have got on these Periscopes and in the Bulletproof Actor Facebook group and in the Act on This community. So if you're not a member of that Facebook group, seriously, you need to come and join. It's facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor. It's not the usual group of actors who you get on Facebook who bitch and whinge about the industry and woe me, it's so hard, I can't get any work, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. We don't do that, okay? We have a higher vision of ourselves for our life and our career, and we go out and get what we deserve, okay? If you feel like that as well, come and join. Miss Lulu Miller, let us know where you're viewing from, Lulu Miller. Thank you for joining us. If you've missed anything, by the way, this is Book Club. We're reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So just saying, if you're not part of the Bulletproof Actor Facebook group, come and join. It's not your average group of actors who are just all bitchy and whiny and whinging. It's a group of empowered people who are really actually getting somewhere. London, awesome. So tonight, the Power of the Mastermind. It's not a huge chapter, and I've given you edited highlights, guys, but I'm going to read to you literally something that I want you to take on board, and I want us all in the group to kind of, to move forward. So it's called Gaining Power Through the Mastermind, all right? And it starts off like this. It says, the mastermind may be defined as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between 2 or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. So your mastermind, first of all, doesn't have to be massive, okay? It only has to be 2 people. We've got about 350 in the Facebook group and Bulletproof Actor Facebook group, and obviously, you'll have different mastermind groups, friends you hang around with, family, even social media like Twitter and stuff like that. But really start thinking about the people that you're associating with. It says, no individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind. So if you want great power, You can't do it on your own, all right? One thing that I have learned over the last sort of 3 or 4 years, trying to run online businesses, is there comes a point where you plateau, you hit like a glass ceiling, and you're like, I can no longer do this on my own. I've got to reach out to other people for help. It says the mastermind principle, or rather, well, there's two principles of the mastermind. First of all, there's 2 things you can get from a mastermind. One is the economic benefits of people clubbing together. The second is the psychic or the psychological benefits as well. So Napoleon says in the book here, he says the mastermind principle, or rather the economic feature of it, was first called to my attention by Andrew Carnegie. So Andrew, Steve, good evening. Andrew is the guy who set Napoleon this task. Andrew was one of America's first billionaires. It says over 25 years ago, discovery of this principle was responsible for the choice of my life's work. So Napoleon's talking about his life's work, effectively writing this book. Mr. Carnegie's mastermind group consisted of a staff of approximately 50 men with whom he surrounded himself for the definite purpose of manufacturing and marketing steel. He attributed his entire fortune to the power he accumulated through this mastermind. So this billionaire, attributed his entire fortune to his mastermind group. This is how powerful a mastermind group can be for you. It says, analyze the record of any man who has accumulated a great fortune and many of those who have accumulated modest fortunes, and you will find that they have either consciously or unconsciously employed the mastermind principle. Great power can be accumulated through no other principle. So you can't get great power on your own. It's simple as that. You need your mastermind. It says energy is nature's universal set of building blocks out of which she constructs every material thing in the universe, including man and every form of animal and vegetable life, through a process which only nature completely understands. She translates energy into matter. Nature's building blocks are available to man in the energy involved in thinking. So the wonders of nature and how it creates everything and us and everything around us is available to us through our thoughts and the way that we think, guys, So it says man's brain may be compared to an electric battery. Dead easy to understand this, right? It absorbs energy from the ether, which permeates every atom of matter and fills the entire universe. So it's a well-known fact that a group of electric batteries will provide more energy than a single battery, It's also a well-known fact that an individual battery will provide energy in proportion to the number and capacity of the cells it contains. The brain functions in a really similar fashion. This accounts for the fact that some brains are more efficient than others and leads to this significant statement, A group of brains, listen to this, really important, a group of brains coordinated or connected in a spirit of harmony will provide more thought energy than a single brain, just as a group of electric batteries will provide more energy than a single battery. So you're more powerful in terms of your thoughts as a collective when you're with other people, obviously, particularly if you're with really smart people and people who really want to go out and get stuff done. It says, through this metaphor, it becomes immediately obvious that the mastermind principle holds the secret of the power wielded by men who surround themselves with other men of brains. So think about who you're surrounding yourself with in your acting career, or in your career if you're not an actor, in whatever you want to achieve. Who are you surrounding yourself with in order to actually, help you get there faster? So pretty. Great to, nice play on words that as well. Great to see you. Let us know where you're viewing from. We're reading an awesome book tonight called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So it says here, there follows now another statement which will lead still nearer to an understanding of the psychic phase of the mastermind principle. When a group of individual brains are coordinated and function in harmony, the increased energy created through that alliance becomes available to every individual brain in the group. So that's the difference, right? Whatever you add as an individual to that group, everyone else is going to benefit from, and every single person in that group adds their own thing that you benefit from. So if you're in a group of 5 people who are all in harmony after the same thing, not only do they benefit from you, but you benefit from 4 other brains. You effectively create a third brain in a group. You've got your brain, you've got their brain, and then you've got the collective brain. So you benefit from everybody's knowledge within that. It sounds straightforward, but people forget this, okay? It's a well-known fact that Henry Ford began his business career, Henry Ford of Ford Motor Cars, one of the greatest, successful car manufacturers on the planet, began his business career under the handicap of poverty. So when he first started out, guy was totally in poverty, okay? Illiteracy, couldn't read or write, and ignorance. It's an equally well-known fact that within the inconceivably short period of 10 years, Mr. Ford mastered these 3 handicaps, and that within 25 years, he made himself one of the richest men in America. So he went from rock bottom, couldn't read, couldn't write, completely impoverished, to being one of the richest men in America in 25 years. So if you're sat on your backside at home, feeling sorry for yourself, because you're like, oh, well, I can't do this, I don't have that skill yet, I don't have this money, I don't have that money. Think about this. Let me just say this one statement, okay? Is there people on this planet, or have there been people on this planet? Give me some hearts if you agree with this. Are there people on this planet who have faced more adversity than you, okay? Who are kind of, how can I put this? Yeah, they've faced more adversity than you. They've got less than you, but they've achieved more than you in less time. Effectively, there's always going to be people, and that's the same for all of us, okay, who have achieved more than us with less than what we've got right now, effectively. Henry Ford was one of those guys who was just amazing, went from nothing to everything in just 25 years, okay. He made himself one of the richest men in America. It says now, connect this with the fact of the additional knowledge that Mr. Ford's most rapid strides became noticeable from the time he became a personal friend of Thomas A. Edison. Lewis is on here. Lewis is a great video editor. Lewis, awesome to have you on the scope, buddy. So he's saying that yeah, Henry Ford's greatest strides happened when he met Thomas Edison, and he started, he included Thomas Edison, one of the greatest minds in the world, who invented the light bulb. He was included in his mastermind, okay? Just that one person accelerated him so much, okay? Says, you'll begin to understand what the influence of one mind upon another can accomplish. Go a step farther and consider the fact that Mr. Ford's most outstanding achievements began from the time that he formed the acquaintance of Harvey Firestone, John Burroughs and Luther Burbank, each man of great brain capacity as well. And you will have further evidence that power may be produced through friendly alliance of minds. So again, keep thinking about who your friendly alliances of minds are, right? There is little, if any, doubt that Henry Ford is one of the best informed men in the business and industrial world. The question of his wealth needs no discussion. Analyse Mr. Ford's intimate personal friends, some of whom have already been mentioned, and you'll be prepared to understand the following statement. Men take on the nature and habits and the power of thought of those with whom they associate in a spirit of sympathy and harmony. So like I said before, you're totally going to become the average of the people in your mastermind. So if you want to up your average in life, you up the people you associate with, and it doesn't mean that you get rid of the people who aren't great, or don't want to aspire to be more. I said this on a few occasions as well. They will eject themselves. The further you get in life, you don't need to be horrible and cut people out of your life. People who don't want to rise with you will eject themselves from the situation. It's quite sad, because you would like to, people to rise with you and you can take them with you. Sometimes your success makes other people feel inadequate or bad because they're not having it, and they kind of, they don't want it. They don't want to get it. It scares them. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone, grow and hit that next level. They would rather stay where they are. So you don't have to worry about going, I'm not going to speak to such a body because they drain my batteries. If you just focus on seeking out the people who are going to charge your batteries, those battery drainers will effectively eject themselves. So it says, Henry Ford whipped poverty, illiteracy and ignorance by allying himself with great minds whose vibrations of thought he absorbed into his own mind. Through his association with Edison, Burbank, Burroughs and Firestone, Mr. Ford added to his own brain power the sum and substance of the intelligence, experience, knowledge and spiritual forces of these 4 men. Moreover, he appropriated and made use of the mastermind principle through the methods and procedures described in this book. This principle is available to you. So if you want to read those other principles, get the book. It's an awesome book. So just a little bit more I want to read from you. But do you get it? Are you kind of following? And are you thinking about the people in your mastermind right now? And as I say, we've formed an awesome mastermind group on Facebook where everybody does have that definiteness of purpose and does, we're all after the same thing, success in the acting industry and in our careers. And it doesn't have to be something that you go and try and get on your own as that one battery. When you team up with 350 other batteries who can all put something into the mix that's positive, you get the benefits of the brain power of those other 349 people, and you rise faster than you ever would, on your own. So it says, when money comes in quantities known as the big money, it flows to the one who accumulates it as easily as water flows downhill. There exists a great unseen stream of power, which may be compared to a river, except that one side flows in one direction, carrying all who get into that side of the stream onward and upward to wealth, and the other side flows in the opposite direction, carrying all who are unfortunate enough to get in it and not able to extricate themselves from it, downward to misery and poverty. My first time, love the hearts. Hit with some hearts. That looks like somebody called Mary. Is it you, Mary? If it is, let me know, because I recognise your avatar. Mary Fogg, I reckon. Is that your name? I'm pretty good with faces, you see, and I'm sure I've seen your face pop up on Twitter. So let us know, or maybe I'll just sound like a complete and utter nutter. But yeah, let us know. So effectively, yeah, what it says there, okay, it says there's two streams in life, right? If you imagine a stream that's split either side, a bit like a road, traffic's going one way on this side, the other way on the other side. Depending on your thoughts, you either get in the side that's going to drag you downhill, or you get in the side that's going to sweep you uphill. And being part of a positive mastermind group with other people, you can work with in harmony towards that definite purpose, is going to put you in that side that's going to sweep you uphill. Beginning of this, what's the book called? It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Moya, you definitely need to get it. It's like you can get it for £4.99 on Amazon, £4.99 on Amazon. Absolute bargain. But it's a book I read about 2.5 years ago that totally transformed a lot of the ways in which I kind of was thinking. And I've kind of studied a lot of the science of success, and I'm talking about the science of success, not a lot of woo-woo, The Secret, I'm just going to put an order out to the universe, sit on my backside and expect for it to arrive. There's actually a lot of science behind that, that I'll go into after this, actually. Thought I had a noise then. There is some science behind The Secret. It's not as magical as people imagine, but I'll explain that to you after I've talked about this. But a lot of the stuff that I study is all science-backed, real science-based, the reason why people are successful. The one you already mentioned in the video. Yes, exactly. If you've seen the Bulletproof Actor videos, this was the book. Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm recapping on it for the people who haven't read it. So yeah, if you've not got it, get it. It's awesome. But this is very, this is real kind of scientific principles here. It's not just, you literally can't just think and grow rich like the title of the book says. You've got to put this into action though. So think about which side of the river, which side of the stream you're in right now. Are you in the side of the stream that's flowing uphill, that's going to sweep you off to greatness? Or are you in the side of the stream that's just going to drag you downriver? To sort of failure and misery, really, which isn't really nice to think about. You can use the things that I'm giving you in this book as an oar, okay, to paddle over to the other side, but you must put them into action. If you're on your way down, you can absolutely go all the way back up, but you must, use this information and act on it. So it says, let's have a look. Some people undergo the experience of alternating between the positive and the negative sides of the stream. Is that you? One day you feel like you're on cloud 9 and everything's going great, and the next day you feel like you hit rock bottom. So you have massive peaks and troughs in your state of being, effectively. If that's you, give me a yes or give me some hearts on that one. I think we've all been there at some point, okay? It says if you're in the side of the stream of power, which leads in the power which leads to poverty, this may serve. This material may serve as an oar by which you can propel yourself over into the other side of the stream. Okay, so it illustrates here. It says the Wall Street crash, and this was obviously way back, 1929, swept millions of people from the positive to the negative side of the stream. These millions were struggling. Okay, some of them in desperation and fear to get to the positive side of the stream. So this book, it says, was written particularly for them. Ordered and going up. Excellent. Get the book. So poverty and riches often change places, okay? The Wall Street crash, taught the world this truth, although the world will not remember the lesson. Poverty may, and generally does, voluntarily take the place of riches. When riches take the place of poverty, however, The change is usually brought about through well-conceived and carefully executed plans. Poverty needs no plan, okay? It needs no one to aid it, because it is bold and ruthless. Riches are shy and timid. They have to be attracted. So effectively it says that, it's very easy to become, poverty-stricken, because you don't have to do anything for that to happen. But if you want riches and success and fulfillment, then you absolutely have to get it. I'm going to explain Miranda the law of attraction now. So this book was this book. So this is on page 138 if you got this version. But yeah, this book, it was written in 1937. It was conceived in around about the turn of the 1900s, when Andrew Carnegie, one of America's first billionaires, set the author a task of interviewing the greatest minds in America at the time. People like Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, the Wright brothers, who invented aviation, people like Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone, so like Sir Alexander Graham Bell. So this is information that's distilled down from all those successful people. Napoleon interviewed 504 of them over 25 years before writing this book, and he wrote 13 principles of success. And as we're looking tonight at the principle of the mastermind, so effectively the people that you surround yourself with, and how everybody should have a mastermind group, because if you surround yourself with people who are in harmony with what you want, some of them might have what you want already, but you're all attained to the same goal. You can effectively share the knowledge of all of those brains cumulatively. So a bit like, if you put one battery, into working something, it would be okay for a while and it would have a certain amount of power. If you put a whole load of battery cells together, the overall output is going to be a hell of a lot higher. So that's how you can look at your life. He finishes this chapter off by saying, anybody can wish for riches, and most people do, but only a few know that a definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. So let me explain about the law of attraction to you. So the law of attraction basically says that if you put out positive thoughts, and if you kind of almost wish for things, you will get them. I'll explain a little bit about the science behind this, because everything I do is very science-backed, and it's not, I need evidence for why stuff works before I'll put it into my life. So there's a part of your brain that's actually called your RAS. Okay, it stands for your reticular activating system. Give me some hearts if you ever heard of it. Your reticular activating system. Have you ever heard of it? It's fascinating. I'll give you a brief kind of overview of how it works. So I'm seeing some red hearts. Okay, so your RAS, how it works is, it's like a filter for your brain. So right now, you're watching this scope, and there might be in the room a television on, you might have your computer on, you might have the radio on, you have a lot of distractions basically, or the people in the room, all kinds of things. Your RAS is the filter that filters out those distractions and enables you to focus on me, what I'm saying, and then process that information, okay? So it allows you to notice the things that are important to you right now. So what happens is, who's ever been thinking about buying a car and you go, right, my brother's a hypnotherapist. Wow, okay, awesome. So has anyone been thinking about buying a particular brand of car before? You might go, right, I want a BMW. And the next day when you're out and about, all you will see on the road are BMWs. Or women, if maybe you're getting broody and thinking you're wanting a baby, okay, you're thinking about having a kid, you'll see babies everywhere. Or if you're pregnant, you're going to see babies everywhere. If you maybe have seen a dress, or guys, have you seen a nice top in a shop or something like that, you might spot other people wearing that top. I did this. I'd go out to a bar in a t-shirt when there was trendy t-shirts were all the rage a few years ago, and for going out drinking, and you didn't have to wear shirts. It was a bit of a revolution. You didn't have to wear shirts. You could go out in a t-shirt, and I might buy a t-shirt, and then I would see there'd be 400 people in this bar, but I would spot the one other guy who had my t-shirt on. Now that's because my RAS, my reticular activating system, was in tune with that t-shirt, or your RAS would be in tune with those cars or the babies or whatever it is, because you're thinking about it. Thus, those things don't just appear because you've manifested them. They were always going to be there, but you just notice them because your RAS is tuned into them. Okay, so when you want something and you're focusing on what you want to achieve as opposed to what you don't want to achieve, you will notice way more opportunities to get it. It's not that necessarily, I don't know of higher beings, maybe there is, but the science behind it would suggest it's not that the universe has gone, there you go, Melissa, I've granted you what you want. Okay, it's actually because you're focusing on what you want. Thus, you see way more opportunities to get that thing subconsciously and consciously, thanks to your RAS. You don't even necessarily need to be conscious of it. Equally, if you focus on what you don't want to happen, if you're trying to reverse your car into a tight parking spot and you've got a bollard there and all you focus on is that bollard, I promise you're going to hit it. If you focus on reversing the car into the space, what you do want, you're going to get that instead. Okay, there's been loads of studies done on this. If you focus on what you don't want, you'll generally get that. If you focus on what you want, you're going to get that. And it's all because your RAS will filter out all the stuff around you, enabling you to focus on that thing, whether that's positive or negative. The choice is absolutely up to you. So that's really why The Secret works. Because people put out a lot of positive vibes and a lot of, they're focusing on what they want to happen. Thus, they feel they're attracting it, but that stuff was actually always going to be there, but they're now just noticing it. Speaking a lot of sense, honestly, I promise you, Eleanor, I've studied about best part of 10 years in this with some of the greatest minds. I don't take credit for this, by the way. I've got mentors all over the world who I study with, who have passed this knowledge on to me. The science of success has always been the same. Like I say, this book was written 100 years ago. It doesn't mean it's any different today than it was when it was written. I have a Nissan Figaro, hardly any about, but when I bought one, I saw about 3 in my local area. Exactly, that's exactly why. It's exactly why. But it works, but it's great to know why it works, because you can put it into practice more. You don't have to think, oh, the stars have aligned and it was luck that I got it last time, or hopefully if I've been a great person, I'm going to receive all this great stuff. You can really create and you can really manufacture authentic success effectively. You really, really can. And like I say, success hasn't changed over the course of since man has been on this earth. It's the same. The principles are the same today as they were 1,000 years ago, and effectively they begin with the belief in your own potential. For those who have subscribed to the Bulletproof Actor videos that I'm putting out this week, and if you haven't, even if you're not an actor, go and claim them, because they're not going to be up for that long. I've done a free 3-part video series at bulletproofactor.com. All you need to do, put your email address in and you'll get access to the 3 videos. 1 and 2 are out now. Video 3 is going to be delivered to people's inboxes tomorrow morning. That's Saturday morning at 10 a.m. or around about 10 a.m. And you're going to find out a formula tomorrow. And I promise you, I said at the beginning of this scope that it sounds too good to be true. But you're going to find, I'm going to give you a formula for absolutely 100% guaranteed success in anything that you do if you implement this formula. It's action. Okay, thank you, Andre. Ace Videos. Honestly, I've tried to give as much value as I can in these videos without overwhelming people. They're all about 25 minutes long. I don't know if people think that's too long or what, but I could have got on for like 5 hours with the stuff in these, but I've tried to distill it down into really simple terms as well that people are going to understand. But you're going to see this formula tomorrow. It consists of 4 areas of your life, and the first area, the most important, the reason I've been talking about beliefs and limiting beliefs, is your belief system is the most precious thing, the most important thing that you have at your disposal in order to go out there and achieve stuff. You will never out-achieve, out-earn, outperform, out anything your belief system. If you only feel you have the potential to hit, I don't know, £15,000 earnings, you're never going to earn more than £15,000 a year. I promise you. If you feel you only have the potential, to be a supporting artist as an actor, you're never ever going to be the lead. No one's ever going to give it to you because you don't believe it. Okay, you really need to believe in your potential, which ultimately as a human being is limitless. And if you have that belief in your potential, you're going to take the action that's necessary to achieve those results. I explain it all in the video very simply tomorrow. Casting already for me next week. Motivated after your grave is awesome. I mean, that's amazing. But seriously, I mean, I never really sort of tell people a lot about my castings, but I put this into practice. I had a formula for those in the UK. We have a show here called Hollyoaks. It's one of the soaps that we have here, and I had a casting for that on Friday. Nice little role in that for a few episodes, and I put everything that I teach and that I preach into practice, and I got that role. I found out yesterday that I'd been given that role, and this stuff is proven, guys. It's not bullshit. I'm not out to do anything but pass on knowledge that's going to empower people, and I just hope people, kind of realise that this stuff really does work. It's not just stuff that you've got to act on it. Obviously, it's not it's not a ticket to get all this for free. But everything that I say, I do. I put into my own life, and I only pass on to people what's. Thank you very much. Cheers, Hitesh. I only put into practice. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. I only share what works as well. There's a load of stuff that I've tried to implement in my life that hasn't worked, and obviously I'll never share that. Cheers, Carl. Thanks, Andre. Nice one. Thank you. So pretty. I think you're Mary. Cheers, Mary. Cheers, Steve. But yeah, there's loads of stuff that I try and do all the time. I try and implement new things literally all the time. That's why I read so many books, and not all of it works for me. So I won't ever tell you anything that hasn't worked. Anything that I pass on, I've tried, tested, and got results from. So I hope that's been bit interesting for you on a Friday night. It's something a little bit different, isn't it? I do these Periscopes on a Monday, on a Wednesday, and a Friday, normally at 10 p.m. I like them to be kind of last thing at night because it gives people time to absorb the information. They can think about it before they go to sleep. Hopefully they wake up in the morning slightly inspired, and they can implement the stuff that we talk about into their lives to go and get what they want that day and that week, and just forever. If you're not part of the Bulletproof Actor Facebook group, come and join. It'd be amazing to have you there. I want to create a movement this year of empowered actors who don't whine and moan about how hard everything is, who actually want to go out there and get stuff. Awesome, Kat, brilliant. Yeah, I really want, I'm sick of seeing groups of negativity on Facebook and just out there in general in the acting industry where people are self-defeated because they've got a faulty mindset and a faulty belief system. If you haven't seen the videos I put out yet, go to bulletproofactor.com, opt in to get the 3 videos. They're totally free. Like I say, watch 1 and 2 before you watch 3. They've got to go in the right order, otherwise you're not going to understand any of it at all. But 3 will be available tomorrow. 1 or 2 are available right now. If you've got time tonight, go and watch them. It'll be like 45 minutes worth of your time, but seriously, it's changing lives. I'm not even kidding you. The amount of emails I've had from people, and you'll see for yourself underneath the videos, there are comments that people can leave, and you'll see like 50 comments from people all raving about how good they are. It's not stuff that isn't going to be useful for you. It's really, really valuable use of your time. So go and do that. I'm going to see people Monday, so we're going to be doing something called Mind Hacks and Motivation on Monday. Monday and Wednesdays on these scopes. We never have a clue what we're talking about until just before. Facebook group, yeah, get on the Facebook group. So pretty, definitely. But if you've got any kind of suggestions for topics, anything you're struggling with in your mindset, any limiting beliefs you're harbouring, anything like that, please tweet me. It's at Ross A. Grant, or you can tweet at Bulletproof Act, or you can tweet Act on This as well, which is at Act on This TV. There's loads of outlets. Or reply to one of my emails. I always reply back. When you send me an email, I promise you I'll read it. I might reply the next day, but I will always reply. So definitely keep in touch and let me know what you want to talk about next week. So I hope that's been useful. It's 20 to 10, so I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks so much. If you want to watch any of the previous Periscopes, because we've done this is the 61st one. We've done 60 more of these. Go to actonthis.tv, and in the menu bar you'll see a menu item for Periscope. If you go in there, you can go back through everything we've talked about. So many different areas of mindset over the last few months we've been doing this. But please join us again. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll sign off for tonight.